Hey, what's up guys, it's Jolin here, and today in this video, let's do the unboxing and the long-term review of the OnePlus 9 smartphone. This is their flagship device as we know, with some high-end features lacking from its elder siblings. It's been some time now that it has been launched, so let's have a look how did the OnePlus 9 fare during the time I had it. Now as for the unboxing, this is all what we get in the box. So now just to give you a physical overview of the phone, the OnePlus 9 comes with a 6.55-inch Fluid AMOLED Full HD HDR10 certified display with a 120Hz refresh rate, which is protected with the Corning Gorilla Glass 5. Then we have the 16MP f2.4 aperture selfie camera embedded in the punch hole cutout, so a earpiece which also acts as a secondary speaker for the stereo speaker setup, and an in-display fingerprint scanner on the front as well. The back of the phone is made out of glass, which is again protected with the Corning Gorilla Glass 5, and the frame is made out of plastic, which feels fine. We then have a triple camera setup with dual LED flash on the back, out of which one is a regular 48MP having f1.8 aperture, a 50MP ultra wide camera having f2.2 aperture, and a 2MP monochrome camera. So on the right hand side we have the power on off button and an alert slider, whereas on the left hand side we can find the volume buttons. The top of the phone is kept clean with a noise cancellation microphone, while the bottom houses the USB Type-C port for charging, the main microphone, speaker, and a SIM card tray. So as for the internals, the OnePlus 9 is equipped with a Snapdragon 888 processor and an Adreno 660 GPU coupled with either 8 or 12 GB of RAM with 128 or 256 GB of storage. So this all runs on Android 11 Oxygen OS 11, and powering all this is a 4500 mAh battery. Talking about the display first, so although it has a Full HD Plus resolution, it still impresses with its AMOLED panel. You will enjoy the 120Hz refresh rate compared to the 90Hz from the previous OnePlus 8, although it's not a dynamically adjusting display that the OnePlus 9 Pro features. The 120Hz display makes scrolling and generally interacting with the display a lot more fun with its seamless transitions. The panel gets really bright, and I had absolutely no problem seeing the OnePlus 9 screen outdoors in bright sunshine. The high contrast AMOLED has inky blacks and the colors look pretty accurate as well. The in-display fingerprint reader for unlocking the phone is also very accurate and works quickly. As for the performance, the flagship Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 chipset coupled with 8 GB of RAM, which I've tested in the OnePlus 9, leads to a very good performance, matching some of its competitors in the benchmarks as well. No matter what you review at it, maybe some games or apps, etc., it ran without any issues. The only performance issue I noticed is with some hiccups here and there while multitasking. So everything else in the phone feels nice and fluid, except for a bit choppiness while switching between apps sometimes. I really hope they address this in the future updates. As for the IP rating, although there's no official IP rating on the OnePlus 9, I feel it should survive some splashes of water here and there. Gaming on the OnePlus 9 was a very good experience. Every game I played on it ran absolutely fine without any issues. Yet despite all the games we played, nothing really made the most of the high refresh rate display to run at 120fps. But the nicely tuned display did deliver some fantastic visuals regardless. The low graphic and the high graphic games played without any lags or stutter, even at maximum graphic settings with good stability. Thankfully, I didn't notice any overheating signs while playing the games. The stereo speakers on the other hand, which got quite loud, but it missed the low-end punch, which is obvious in any smartphone. Coming to the software experience, the OnePlus 9 ships with the Oxygen OS 11, which is Android 11 with few tweaks. The OnePlus skin is a bit more comprehensive than it was a few years ago. It's just as slick and fast as stock Android, but comes with a lot more features. There are no ads or minimal bloatware that distracted me from the task at hand. And the user interface elements combined with a high refresh rate of the display feels far more responsive than anything else. The user interface can look a little inelegant at times with the speed up animations, but you won't spend any time waiting on the phone. Even the RAM management is also done really well, and I didn't face any restarting of apps in the background. The always on display on the OnePlus 9, which is customizable, works fine and shows me all the required information I need. So I haven't faced much of an issue with the software, but I hope OnePlus continues to improve the same. OnePlus 9 is powered with a 4000 mAh battery. The battery performance is really good, and with typical use, which included a bit of gaming, video watching and random social media browsing, I was easily able to go one entire day and a bit more before having to charge this phone. Of course, you can kill the battery under a day with heavy camera and use of gaming, but in most cases, it's safe to assume you'll get a full days of use on one charge. Even when you do run low on power, it takes approximately 30 minutes for the OnePlus 9 to charge fully from 0 to 100%, which is incredibly fast, and all thanks to the Warp Charge 65-watt charger which is included in the box. Coming to the cameras now, OnePlus 9 features a 48 megapixel main camera this time in a triple camera setup at the back, and the whole Hasselblad partnership as well. The 48 megapixel sensor produces very good images with good color and white balance. The images look very sharp and detailed when the light is optimum. The dynamic range is also quite good, with photos balancing out the highlights and the shadows to appear far more natural. The close-ups had good sharpness and the colors too, but every once in a while I noticed the subject had soft focus, or that area in focus wasn't exactly what I had selected when taking the shot. The 50 megapixel wide-angle camera also performed well. It captured excellent details too, with minimal distortion around the edges. I found the sensor to be more usable with close-up objects because of the low distortion, though it shifted towards a slightly cooler white balance. It also seemed a bit more washed out compared to the main sensor, but it remained quite sharp. It's also used for super macro mode shots, and the results are better than any dedicated macro sensor I have ever used. I'm a little baffled by OnePlus's continued inclusion of the useless auxiliary monochrome 2 megapixel sensor on its phone. The only photo mode that uses this sensor is at the end of the filter list. It's not discoverable in the slightest, but I have taken a few fun shots with it. But it's not so good enough. You can just apply a black and white filter to a regular photo taken with a better camera sensor. I would rather have preferred a telephoto sensor instead of this. In low light, the main sensor captures a well-lit landscape shots with good detail, but a little more prone to handshakes as the camera lacks optical image stabilization. The nightscape helps fix the exposure a bit and also produces slightly better textures. The wide-angle camera suffers a bit in low light, but a nightscape can help salvage shots. The images clicked by enabling the nightscapes mode were good as well. The selfie camera on the OnePlus 9 is a 16 megapixel and it's decent but not great. You can get some pleasing selfies during the day if you angle the camera just right, but for most of the part the images look fairly average and the quality dips further in low light. The OnePlus 9 can shoot videos up to 8K 30fps, but the 4K recording is limited to 60fps. The video quality is good in daytime, and even the low light footage is clean and relatively free from noise. However, the electronic image stabilization causes a bit jitter in the video, which is more pronounced at night. The OnePlus 9 can shoot HDR videos too, but this needs to be enabled manually. The OnePlus 9 did give me an overheating warning when shooting the third 8K video continuously, and the 8K videos are limited to 5 minutes per clip. Finally, as for my verdict, until now the biggest argument against the OnePlus phones has been the camera performance. While some inconsistencies remain, my OnePlus 9 review found that the new phone performs much better in that department when compared to the leading flagships. A very good display performance, a relatively clean software, great user interface performance, powerful loudspeakers, a very good main and ultra-wide cameras, fast charging are its strongest pillars. But the lack of official IP rating, no OIS, no dedicated telephoto camera, and an outdated selfie camera might still make many look somewhere else. So guys, that's it for the video and I really hope you like it. If you all did, then kindly hit the thumbs up button, and if you all didn't, you all can vote it down. Please do subscribe to my channel if you all haven't and turn on the bell icon to get notified whenever a new video goes live. So until next time, you guys take care. Ciao.